football players can be predicted a Hall of Fame career after only a few games, but Adrian Peterson of the Minnesota Vikings may be that rare player that can. Adrian is quick and fearless, and he has been a huge asset to the Minnesota Vikings. Here is his story. Adrian Peterson was born in Palestine, Texas on March 21, 1985. His parents, Bonita Brown and Nelson Peterson, were star athletes in college. Father Nelson was a shooting guard for Idaho State, but his career was ended when the gun his brother was cleaning discharged into his leg. The wound became infected, and after several surgeries, Nelson realized that his basketball career was going to be over. Adrian's mother was a star track and field athlete. She was a state championship 3 times in high school and attended University of Houston on an athletic scholarship. Adrian Peterson was a hyperactive toddler and was always active when the other kids his age were sleeping. This is why his father nicknamed him All Day, and this nickname is with him still in the NFL today. Adrian's best friend growing up was his older brother Brian. They always played sports together, but when Adrian was 7, Brian was hit by a drunk driver while riding a bike and was killed. After this, Adrian turned to sports to deal with the pain of losing his brother. He was the star of his Pee Wee football team, which his father coached. His father taught him everything he knew about football. He also taught Adrian about his priorities when he benched Adrian Peterson after getting an F in his 5th grade class. By the time Adrian was 12, he was the star of every football team he played on. The other teams would just have to force him out of bounds or hope he would slip or trip. One game he went the whole game without being tackled. When Adrian was 13, his father was arrested for laundering money for a crack cocaine ring. His father had a good, steady job, but was chasing after the big bucks he could have had as a pro basketball player. Nelson spent 8 years in prison, but Adrian Peterson talked to him every day. Every morning, Adrian would call his dad on game days. Adrian played JV football player as a freshman, and as a junior, he ran for more than 2,000 yards and scored 22 touchdowns, which started the attention from Division I recruiters. After Adrian's breakout junior year, he realized he could have his pick of colleges. He narrowed it down to Southern California and Oklahoma. During his senior year, he rushed for 2,960 yards and had 32 touchdowns. He often only played the first half. His final high school appearance was in the 2004 All-American Bowl, where he was named MVP and also announced his college choice, Oklahoma. In Adrian's first game at Oklahoma, he ran for 100 yards, but the next game he ran for 160 yards in the 3rd quarter alone against Oklahoma State with an 80-yard touchdown run. Adrian ran over, around, and through the tacklers. He had 1,925 yards his freshman year, smashing the NCAA's freshman running record. According to the team statistics, 2/3 of those yards came after he had already been hit. He did suffer a shoulder injury and had surgery to strengthen it. Despite his amazing season, he came second to Matt Leinart in the Heisman Trophy voting. Peterson's college career continued to impress as he continued to rush for over 100 yards per game and scored more and more touchdowns. Adrian decided to forego his senior season and declared the NFL draft. He was looked at by many, but they were concerned about his certain injuries and if he would be ready to play for the NFL. A few picks were made before the Minnesota Vikings picked Adrian as their running back. Their plan was to work him in the rotation with the veteran Chester Taylor, but after Adrian Peterson ran for 103 yards against Atlanta, Coach Childress began to rethink that decision. Adrian went on to run for a record 296 yards and had 3 touchdowns against the San Diego Chargers. Adrian is big and fast. He will either run right past tacklers or run right over them. He is also very deceptive. He can trick tacklers in the open field and can be at full speed within 1 stride. Adrian is my favorite player and will continue to be no matter where he plays. He will continue to improve his game and easily run his way to the NFL Hall of Fame.